Hi, welcome to this live reading. I'm just gonna let everyone know that we are live. Bear with me while I tweet and do the things that I usually do. I think the camera's a little bit lopsided, so that's always good. I don't quite know what's going on here, but okay, it's probably about 15 times worse now, but never mind. Okay, guys, I'm just gonna quickly tweet out. Bear with me, and then we're going to get going. We're going to focus today on something happening on the 10th, and we're going to get the general energies here. Just to give you a heads up, we're not going to do the 15th to the end of the month's readings yet. And the reason being is I'll explain in a minute. We will be doing that. Oh, by the way, we've already got one moth in. We've already got one moth. I give up trying to figure out how to not bring insects in here. Like, I'm sorry. I always get comments. Do you know you've got insects? Do you know? Yes, I'm very aware of that. Thanks. So yeah, we just got some renters who aren't paying any money towards the rent, but you know, it's all good. Okay, guys. So welcome if you've just joined us. For those of you who are waiting on a reading, I'm uploading it as we speak. So expect that to be uploaded later. My uploads take 5 million years because the internet here is awful. So I do apologise for the lateness, and I apologise for the fact that I'm still staring at my phone. It's because I'm letting everyone know that we are live. So let's see. Bear with me. Okay, live. Just putting an Instagram story out, and then I'll be with you live. What do you guys think about the new dailies that I'm doing on Insta and posting to group? How does everyone feel about that? I thought, right, I'm going to start doing that now for when I can. Right, that'll do. I think we've made the point now. Hi, I do apologise. Mark, hello there. Yours is on its way. Rebecca, hi. I hope you're doing very well. Thank you for joining us. Tianina, hi. Welcome. Thank you so much. I've got a moth too in my room, and if you want them out, Jala, you can ask them. I'll explain in the email that is coming away later on if you like. Listen, if it was that fucking easy, like, you know what I mean? Moth, could you please leave? Thank you. I mean, it's worth a try. Kasana, hi. Thank you so much for joining us. Karen, hi. Hope you're doing well. Okay, so guys, thank you for your likes. By the way, we've got 10 watchers, 10 viewers. Thank you so much for the likes. Hello, Danielle. You have the day off. Oh, lovely. Okay, so guys, we've got Mars going into retrograde. We've got Mars going into retrograde on the 10th. I can't work out what is going on with this camera. So because I'm going to basically do the 15th to the 30th, but I'm going to do it starting on the 10th, and I'll tell you why. The energy is not right. There's something about the energy at the moment that I know if I do it now, there's going to be different energy for when I do it in a couple of days. And I think it's got something to do with this Mars in retrograde. Don't forget, we also have Jupiter going direct on the 14th. All right. So I want to kind of get as far into that energy as possible, because then the moth is just sat down there now. I want to get as far into that energy as possible so we can get an overall look. So the next probably couple of days are going to be pick a card readings. Now it's just walking in front of the camera. Do you want to leave? Could you leave? Okay, so let's have a look. Let's see what they're going to show us here. And I don't know why, but they want me to look at this astrological reading cards deck. So we're going to use that one. So Mars, what is Mars? Mars is a planet of action. Okay, it's currently in Aries, it's exalted in Aries. It's Mars. Aries is its ruler. Okay, Mars is like the soldier. Okay, Mars is like the planet of action, and Aries is like the soldier. So at the moment, we've got 3 months of pause in terms of that more, because Mars is kind of an Aries, is kind of, I'm Mars in Aries. We can be we'll throw ourselves into something and then think about it later. Whereas this retrograde energy is going to ask you to pause and review, right? So, you know, movement may be restricted a little bit. Right, let's have a look. What is the energy, please, for Mars in retrograde? What is it we need to be aware of? This moth is like, the heck is this moth doing? Okay, fair enough. The door's that way, but okay. Right, let's have a look. Okay, what do we need to be aware of? See, look, now I'm getting weird energy. Let me just light some incense. I knew that was going to happen. Getting some really weird energy now. Cross, they just keep saying cross. Is this camera, what I can't work out if this camera's wonky. They're talking about cross fortune. What, Mars in Aries going in retrograde? No, it's because I basically have shamanic roots. So animals, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. You haven't heard my story about the cat. I used to have cats following me. I have had cats walking in. I've been on a first story bedroom, and I've had a cat while my window is open randomly on a first floor walk in my bedroom window. And I'm like, oh, hi, it's a cat, you know, and it's literally just walked in. And it hasn't just happened once with the same cat. It's happened on multiple occasions. There's something about me and animals. I've had cats follow me. I've had dogs just staring. There was at one point about 4 weeks where a cat used to stay at the bottom of my driveway and just stare, like for months. It just used to come there literally every day staring. And I'm like, is there something I can help you with? So there's something with me and animals. I've had it. I even get it with birds. I have birds following me to the shops. It's because I have shamanic roots, and it's a shamanic thing, you know. Moths are about, it's about being illuminated. The moths head towards the light, don't they? So if I'm sat here channeling, you know, there's something about me and animals. It's just, it is what it is. And to be honest with you, I am more concerned about them hurting themselves than anything else. Oh, of course they're trying to talk to me, but this is the problem. I'm in the middle of a reading, and my guides are. I mean, look, if they're trying to talk to me, brilliant. But I'm in the middle of a reading, and they're not saying anything. Otherwise, I'd be able to hear them. So they're trying to talk to me. Yeah, it makes sense. There's, you know, I mean, I could sit here and talk to it now, but it will be giving me the information which is not relevant to you. So, you know, right, 7th house. This is balance. 7th house is Libra. This Mars in retrograde is to walk us through into Libra season. If it wasn't in retrograde, it would be like a freaking Scorpio energy. Because this will come out in August. Are we in August? No, we're in September, October, November. This is coming out in December. Guys, there's a lot happening in December. There's a heck of a lot happening in December. Notice we're getting a lot of temperance cards, which is Sagittarius, which is December. We've also got an eclipse in December. We've also got Uranus coming. We've got a lot of planets that are coming out of retrograde between now and the next couple of months. But this is about balance. It says, yeah, look, this is about significant partners, romantic, business, or family. Right, let's have a look. Oh, Kel Surprise. I'm so surprised, but the sun is here. This is about being charged up. They're talking about us being charged up. Let me get some cards here. In fact, this is a good set. We'll use Earth Merit Magic. We haven't used this for a while. What are you trying to show us here? This is transformative energy. This is transformation. Okay. Mars in retrograde. Mars. So the Mars in Aries, Mars has like a mission, doesn't it? It has an end goal to where it wants to get to, like an external end goal, which is external, right? So if it's in retrograde, it's being asked to review within. That's, I think, the focus, and it's because obviously we're in Virgo, it's about the internal detailing. So we're paused at the moment. We're in the shadow, so we're stationary at the moment. So we're slowly asking. I'll give you an example, actually. We're slowly asking to look within. Okay, I'll give you an example. So my shopping got delivered the other day, and I ordered vegetarian mince, right? And I built all these lovely recipes around this vegetarian mince because I was like, oh, I'm going to make this and make that. So when it came, no mince was delivered. They didn't have any mince. And that was literally, everything was built around this one recipe. Anyway, the delivery man was really lovely, and he, bless him, he carried all my shopping in, and I was so taken aback by how helpful he was. I didn't twig until later, and when I was putting everything away, that actually there was no fucking mince. Anyway, I got really annoyed. I literally got annoyed for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then I stopped myself and I was like, hang on a minute, Charlie, who the fuck do you think you are? Like, there's people that don't have any food, and you're fucking bitching about some fucking vegetarian mince. Are you actually joking me right now? Like, how entitled are you? Like, that's so bad that you expected, number one, you like, well, why not, you know? And then I had to literally stop myself, and I was like, that's not, this is what Spirit are trying to get us to be aware of. Because this is the thing, how in the heck is these blessings coming through if you can't even have gratitude over the fact that you're able to afford food, you know? Like, so what? You've been delivered 15,000 alternative vegetarian burgers that look awful and that are totally overpriced, but we won't go into that detail. Hi, Gigi. Oh, thanks. Bless you. Thanks, Gigi. We're just talking about Mars going into retrograde on the 10th. So I had to catch myself, and I was like, what, Charlie, what are you doing? Like, this is really not you either. Like, why would you focus on something that petty? Because we're in Virgo season. And so I had to kind of shake myself a little bit, because I was like, that's just kind of not I just don't, like, to be honest with you, my guys were just staring at me as well, like, as if to say, come on, Jar. This really, you fall into this trap? Like, that was kind of very easy for you to fall into. And I was like, do you know what, you're right, that I'm annoyed that I've even fallen into that trap, you know what I mean? So just be aware of, because this is the thing, I'm viewing that as, this is a classic example. It's like a lack of action, a block of some sort that's caused an internal reaction, but it's done it to alleviate and show a shadow or show something, come bring it to light. For me, it was like, Jale, this is not the end of the world. You're eating, you've got food. Some people can't even eat, you know? So, and especially because you've just been in a lockdown when food was a bit weird in this country and there wasn't a lot. How could you come out of that and suddenly fall so quickly into this trap? Like, I got annoyed with myself that I fell for that, you know? I was like, Jale, what are you doing? I didn't speak to myself like that. Obviously, I was just like, for goodness sake. So just be aware that things may not go exactly according to plan in that energy, but just be aware how you're reacting to it. Because then as soon as I got out of that energy, I was like, you're an idiot. Like, I didn't say that, but I was thinking it. Like, why would you fall for, you know, do you know what I mean? It's like, that's this lovely guy who didn't have to carry all of my shopping in. And he was so polite, and he was so sweet, you know, and you could afford the food. It's not like you couldn't afford any food to eat. So, you know, and this is the other thing. This is where it gets embarrassing. It was like a total of £5.25, and there's me bitching about it. And I'm just like, and then I thought, Jale, this is the difference between being more successful and not. Because if you can't appreciate the small things, how the heck, how can you not? Do you know what I mean? You're not gonna, well, they're not going to give you like, why would you expect something and then react like that? Like, that's, you know, Mia, hi. No, you're welcome. No worries, Mia. So just be aware of little instances that may pop into your awareness. I'm just listening to the guides. Yeah, they're saying, watch the perspective of things. Thank you for this example. This is how, I mean, to be honest with you, I was really frustrated with myself. I got really annoyed with myself. I was like, Jale, this is, and I'm going to be really honest with you, my mum's side of the family is one that, like, this is definitely me defaulting. That, and honest, that sounds awful, but it really is. Like, hi Ray Ray, I hope you're doing well. Yeah, that was totally me defaulting, and then I got really frustrated. Something similar happened to me a couple of hours ago. Really? Did you? I hope you reacted better than I did, but I got honestly, I had to physically talk myself down. Yeah, I was like, because I didn't want to ring up and be like, this is another thing. I didn't ring up and say, hi, can you come back? And I was like, no. And I think even if I'd have realised it, I wouldn't have done that anyway. Because I think, Jale, you didn't go and get the shopping yourself. You may have paid money to get it delivered, but that's your tough luck, you know? It is what it is. Stop being entitled. Because yeah, this is what I'm not being funny, but that's 1000% my mum's. This is going to sound terrible, but it is my mum's side of the family's energy. The entitlement. I was annoyed with myself. Then I realised, I was like, oh, I see what you're doing here. You're just testing the water a little bit to see if I'm going to be an idiot, you know. I was like, well, I failed that one. So Mars in Aries going retrograde. Then what is it we can expect? Look at that instinct. This, and again, I definitely have, as you can tell, I've got a thing about food, as you can probably tell. It's instinctual. It's actually very instinctual in me, because a Mars in Aries is. I'll be really honest with you. This is you can tell this is a trigger, but Mars and Aries they're usually meat eaters. That sounds really weird though I said that, but it's like a primal. Mars and Aries are very primal. It's a very strong instinctual energy. So think about how an instinctual energy is suddenly being placed on hold. Why would it be placed on hold? It's to review what needs to be reworked, what isn't working. And obviously I don't eat meat, but look, bottom of the deck, reflection. So just be really aware. Look, winter solstice as well, reflection. So winter solstice will be the 21st of December, which is actually when this eclipse is. Okay, which again is the bookends. We've got the bookends, the December, January eclipses in this year, beginning of this year, and then we've got the one at the right at the end, and then the Cancer in the middle. Review this situation I'm in, twin flame or illusion. What do you mean? Thank you for your likes, guys. Look at that island, solitude. Very Virgo energy. Bottom of the deck, ancestors, generations. The other thing that I noticed, this is where it gets interesting. What the freaking heck's that? Yeah, is Lilith is going to conjunct Mars when it goes into retrograde. And if you don't know what Lilith is the wounded feminine. Lilith, if you go by fable or fiction, is the original female in Eden who, when Adam approached, was like, on your bike. And if you're not English, it means I don't think so, pal. And then that's when they created Eve, and then Eve was that balance to Adam. Did you miss anything? Hi, Charlie. Hello, Scylla. We're just talking about Mars going into retrograde on the 10th. It's crazy karmic lesson turned into my twin flame kind of feeling. Okay, but we're actually talking about Mars in retrograde. If the messages come in, then they come in. But this is a general collective reading. If you want a personalized reading, feel free to email me for a reading. So, bottom of the deck, Shaman. Yeah, we're talking about Mars in retrograde on the 10th. So we've got Lilith that's actually conjunct, and Lilith is I just keep hearing taming the fire. And has anyone else felt really, like I've been getting really fired up? Has anyone else been getting really fired up? Or is it just me who's got Mars and Aries, who's slowly being wound up? Right. So if you've missed the lightning strikes, some people are already getting the lightning. Some people are already commenting on the lightning. Some people are already commenting on the Capricorn reading coming true. I can turn off my internet if I find out where my phone is. Let me turn off my internet. Yeah, I've turned off the internet. I'm just choosing another deck. You didn't miss anything. Yeah, if it happens again, let me know, and I mean, it should be okay now, but the internet's, I mean, look, it says it all. The internet's rubbish here for some reason. Right, Mars in retrograde. What are the messages, please? What are the messages? So Lilith it's a wounded feminine energy that is being brought up to, the energy has been brought up to the, you nearly cried. I mean, look, if you need to purge, then purge, you know. I'm just getting freaking, I just stupidly looked and found out something that was just like, why? Like, it got to the point where it woke me up and was like, look at this. And I looked at it and I was like, why? Why are you telling me this? It's an Aries. Lilith is an Aries. It's in Aries at the moment, transiting, but it's about to conjunct Mars. What it's going to do is actually Mars is going to go past it. So around the 9th, 10th, just pay attention for that energy, which is going to be people getting pissed off, quite honestly. And if you haven't already had that, or if you have, just keep an eye out for that. It's like a primal urge of, especially if you're very protective of people. Like if you're, because this is the thing, I've got Mars, Mercury, and my Sun in Aries, mate. And this kind of energy with this Lilith here, with like Chiron, I've got to be very, because usually and not only that, but it's all conjunct my own Mars and Mercury in the chart. So this is like, I've got to be very careful, because usually I'm very good. I can control that. But there's something about this energy that's really firing me up. It's a protective instinct around people, especially that I have a lot of protection for. My progressed moon is in Aries. It depends whereabouts in the chart. This is more towards the latter, the first half onwards, up to the 15th or maybe the 29th. I think this is around maybe the 15th, maybe the 20th, 20 degree or something. Look, we've got Metatron, divine intelligence. Yeah, Mars in Aries is very warlike. It's a soldier. Nice to know it's across the collective, not just me. No, it's not just you. I sent a really shitty email today, and I never do that. And it wasn't to anyone that was paying. It wasn't to anyone like that. I was. Well, be careful what I say here. It wasn't to anyone that was like paying for my services. It was advice that I got. I was just like, fuck this. I'm just going to fucking say this. Because I was like, do you know what? No, that's not okay, you know? And then I was like, Charlie, what's gotten into you? Yeah, Scylla, wait until the new moon on the 17th in Virgo. We're all going to be okay. We just gotta be very aware of our triggers. We just got to be very. Hello, V. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Divine intelligence and love. Don't forget, Venus has just gone into Leo as well, which we're talking about a trining. I think it's a trine. I think it's trining. Yeah, I think it's trining that placement, possibly. There's something about that energy that feels right, but I haven't checked, so just don't hold me to that. Right, let's see what Metatron's. In fact, let me see what Metatron's trying to tell us here. Piss off. I keep swearing, guys. I apologise. I'm just a bit sweary today. It's because of this. Right, hang on. Let me see what Metatron's trying to tell us here. They're saying you must understand what's being shown to you. So the kind of reality that you're in at the moment and the things that have been shown over the last couple of days, just be very aware that could be a theme. So if you're getting triggered, what specifically, like I know I've got an issue with food, like 100%, that still I've worked a lot on, but there's obviously needing more work on it. And I know what it's from. And the reason I know is because I started writing it in the email and I was thinking, the heck, where's this come from? And I'm like, right, I'll have to stick that on the list. It's trying to bring up the last couple of energies here, because don't forget, the things that are happening between now and December with this kind of eclipse, and then Mars going direct, and then, you know, you've got the nodes that are also going direct as well. Into January and then February, which is, I'm going to be really honest with you, like a freaking whole new world. Sorry to quote, is it Little Mermaid? But it really is. Like I said, it's like the energies are going to start amping up a little bit, because it's trying to drive all that it's within our own shadows that we're trying to merge and integrate anything that it shouldn't be there. Positive energy thoughts for all. Thank you, V. That's awesome. Positive energy to you too. So the energy that basically is going to be brought up is anything that is a lower vibration that needs to be integrated, basically. People blowing up my phone asking me for all kinds of stuff. Wow. I mean, that's uncanny what we were talking about then as well. So again, it's a test, isn't it, that? So look into, like, again, to be honest, in fact, I'll talk to you about because I've already had my, I was going to say something else then, my electricity moment, my thunder moment. God, I sound like what's going on? Why can I not talk? My lightning moment. Finally, I get the word out. So a while back, there was someone that I knew that was in a very disruptive connection, and it was impinging on my energy to the point where when we were talking about it, it was like morning, noon and night we were talking about this energy and nothing was changing. And I was like, I'm enabling this situation because I'm entertaining it. So I kind of stepped away from the friendship and I was like, look, this is ridiculous. This is very, now people are going to get offended by this, but there's something about Londoners that are fucking dramatic. Like there's, you know how EastEnders, those that are in the UK, people who watch EastEnders, it's real. That energy is very real. There's something about Londoners that is super dramatic, right? Anyway, so I stepped away from it. Now this person contacted me last night and I just took one look at it and was like, absolutely not getting into that again. And I know they're just trying to test my boundaries, but it's not happening. but it could have very easily could have me like falling into a kind of, oh, that's, you know, nostalgic energy. Oh, let me just, so just be really aware. Are you throwing me on my Reiki list? On your Reiki list, are you? That's very sweet. Thank you. Oh, are you talking to V? Yeah, so just pay attention for the like triggers, basically the things that are coming up for awareness, very strong awareness. It's the comfort zone is a really strong thing, and this is, to be honest with you, I feel like, does anyone else do this? Is like, you know, sometimes I like play dumb because it's just easier. It just means that I can coast for a little while, you know, I can just coast and just enjoy the moment, because sometimes you need to do that as well. And this is the thing, I love being underestimated, because usually people never expect change, and then suddenly I'm like doing something else. But this is the energy that I'm savoring, because I know things are about to get moved along very quickly, and this is why I'm not too worried about this kind of energy, you know, with this Mars going into retrograde, because I'll be honest with you, going into the next part of this month, my guides are like making me crack up. Things are going to start shifting, and October, the gear's going up a gear, and then November is going to be 5th gear. All right. So if things aren't moving, if it's not progressing, savor the moment, be thankful, be grateful, because it's going to really shift. Oh, thanks, Mark. I'll be really honest with you, Mark. It's someone. It's actually not me. It's me predicting something for someone that I care about a lot 2.5 years ago, and then it finally coming true, and then me being annoyed that I was right. That's why I'm getting upset, because I'm okay. I'm just upset for this person, because I don't like seeing people get, like, I don't like the level of what I'm saying. It really I don't like it, and I was trying to protect that person, but I couldn't, and that really upsets me as well, because you feel like I mean, like, obviously there's not much you can do if they're not learning, but to see it play out, I don't like that. So I'm all right, Mark, but thank you so much for caring, but it's more the other person that I'm worried for. And Mark, only do this if you have time and your own energy and in good spirits, please. Don't you be over pushing yourself. Only do it if you are in a good space, mate, because you know what I mean. But you know what you're doing. So these are all the little things that are playing out, that we're kind of closing out this chapter, going into the new year. This is what we're gearing up for, basically. We're being propelled along after that, you see. So it's like they're closing out all these little bits and pieces, because it's getting us ready. It's getting us to where we need to be. But yeah, no, I'm all right. I'm to be honest with you, I've got so proficient in my own little energy now. Nothing really. It's only when I see people I care about getting upset that upsets me, you know, for sure. Right, let's have a look. Right, what is the messages, please? What are the messages? Someone's... I keep getting arguing amongst friends. This isn't me. Someone's arguing amongst friends here. I don't know why, but I'm getting some shouting as well. Look, bottom of the deck, forgive. Someone's having arguments with friends, and then they're just feeling left out of some kind. I don't know. They're just saying left out. So if that's you, just be aware. Definitely forgiveness. They're just talking here about someone's having the same arguments over and over and over again. That's just what they're saying. They're just saying, you know, forgiveness. That's basically the message, forgiveness. And if it's, you know, just pay attention for that, really. Right, let's see. What are the messages, please? What are the messages? Oh, look at that. Wow. The void. Retreat, rest, pause. So this is definitely Mars in retrograde energy. And then we've got green, heart healing. So it's a pause to lift ourselves up. It's a pause to... Why am I hearing fact checking? There's something... I think it's just dense energy. It's like... Okay, this is what they're showing me. You know when you get like a lot of different energy and clutter almost? It's like... It looks like a funnel. Something's being funneled through something. It's like a filter. We're being put through a filter, but it's like a bottleneck. To get through this filter, you have to go through this bottleneck. So it's like everyone's being squeezed together, like this pressure almost. It's like we're being condensed energetically so that we can kind of be fed through this next stage. So again, it's what... So if you feel like the pressure starts building and then drops off a little bit and then starts building the next few months, that's why. It's because we have to be put in through a certain way or a position in order to get to a vibration. It's like, it's interesting because they're saying it's the easiest way to get everyone on a similar level. You know how like collectively we have to be on a similar awareness point, and there's, God knows, sometimes like Mark, the classic was your story, Mark. That would be classic of what example I'm trying to give right now. To try and get everyone on the same level, there has to be some shift. You know what I mean? Because we know that the majority are not utilizing their intuition, or, you know, we need to shift that energy a little. Yeah, look, endings, you are held. This is illusionary. The fact, because I feel like there's a lot of people feeling at the moment like we're just kind of walking into this random endpoint that we don't know what is there. But again, it's illusions. Just be aware of all this very strong illusionary energy. You know, you're being pulled and siphoned into something that isn't quite real, you know? Like there's no vegetarian mince in your shop. Like I feel like they were laughing at me like, Charlie, you fell for that? Like that was the most easiest thing. Burning cedar for us all, pretty card. Yeah, I keep hearing something about temptations as well. So just watch for that. I feel like they're having a giggle, especially this Leo and Venus Leo energy. Well, it feels like yeah, look, conquering fear. Start today. Again, the energy of being supported. The energy of being supported. Right, hang on. Let me just pull some tarot here because I feel like I'm... I feel like I'm in a daze at the moment. I stopped burning Palo Santo, is it? Palo Alto, I can never remember the name. I started feeling really guilty about burning it. I was like, oh no. I'm burning wood. I got really upset and I was like, Charlie, this is getting a bit ridiculous. So I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do to like, you know, cleanse the energy? Silly. But yeah, I suddenly had this like thought, like, oh my goodness, I don't think I'm meant to be burning this. And then I was like, yeah, but what do the natives do? And then I'm like, yeah, but Charlie, you're not native. That's not an excuse. I got really annoyed. I was like, why? And then I was like, Charlie, this is exactly the kind of example that they're just like, you know, utilize another option to do that. Look at that, 2 of Wands, and this is Aries. They're saying halt before you start deciding to go into one direction. Are you forgetting something? This is like we're not going to let you through because we're not sure if you know what is really good for you at the moment. Because again, there's illusions. It's like people are kind of like, again, this freaking me arguing about vegetarian mince. You know, that's ridiculous. And thank you, the moon. Illusions. Illusion. What is it you're fighting for? So be really aware, if this is you, if you're already in that energy, that you're not being sucked into something. Drilled Palo Santo, a necklace. Cleansing the aura, salt baths is my go-to for cleansing the aura. Salt bath, without shadow of a doubt. In fact, if I could, I would stay in my salt bath and just live there. But do you know what I mean? Or in the ocean. Can you see? It looks like this energy is being filtered through. It's like being pulled through the 2. And there's a scarab, which is that protective energy. Oh God, my God, is like cracking me up. 9 of Swords. This is the wounded warrior energy. It's like they're saying, before you get to the next point, before we're going to let you through into this next point, we need to make sure that you are. That's this slowing down energy. I'm not going to lie. I'm not looking forward to Scorpio season. Every time I try and maneuver around that point, I'm like, I'm just going to say it now. And I know that's probably like, oh, that's terrible for you to say that because now you're manifesting it. But it's like an elephant in the room. It's not terrible. It's just dense energy. It just feels like there's a big bulk of energy. It's like a block that is going to be totally released. So if you're looking for the shower side of things, make sure you're plugging. First of all, make sure that it's washed, you know, but plug the shower, like the sink hole. And then, I mean, to be honest with you, you could theoretically put it in isn't there a shower attachment that you can do that with, where you put the salt in and it comes out through the water? I don't know if you'd want to put your hair in that though, but you can put it in the base where your feet are, but I'm sure there's a shower attachment as well. Or soak your feet in the salt water, because again, for grounding, that would be very good for grounding. I'm going to be honest with you, this is illusionary energy, to the point where people are going to sit and go, is this what I want though? Is this something that I really want? Look, Again, they're asking you, is this what you want? Make sure that it's really what you want, because if you are moving forward and you get to the point where it isn't what you want, again, it's that illusionary energy. So they don't want you going after everything with this energy and this density. It's like they're trying to protect you from making a wrong move, possibly, or a wrong turn or wrong action. You know, like look, they're trying to give clarity so you can see it clearly before you're rushing ahead. This is what this Mars in retrograde is going to bring. Certainly for the first part of the month, like as in for this month. It's seeing things clearly. It's being able to see the path ahead a little bit clearer as well. They're also showing 4 of Cups, so it's kind of maybe ruling out things that don't necessarily serve and including things that do. You marinate in it. Yeah, I just sit in a bath. That for me. That's more. I just relax in a bath. So this is the pinpoint of. They're talking about a focused area here that is being reviewed. So there's no other distractions. You're focusing in on one area, which is you and your rebirth. Look, this is the rebirth energy, Phoenix. Transitional energy. Look, can't make it up. Death. Transition into the new. Cleansing of the old. They just keep saying making way for the new, making way for the new. The High Priestess. This is the keeper of secrets, which naturally now I'm going to try and tap into and figure out what her secret is, just because my guides hate when I do that. They're like, Charlie, just leave it. Wait. Have you seen, look, she's got a bow and arrow here. Looks like Cupid's been lending her their equipment out. This is interesting. They're making the environment right for the next phase of unions. That's what this is. The environment has to be right. There has to be a match. And if everyone's charging ahead 50 miles an hour, they're going to miss all the relevant details, which means the alignment of these unions are not going to come into play. That's partly what the Mars in retrograde is for. They're just talking about an understanding and seeing a clarity of truth that wouldn't have been acknowledged. There's a lot of, to be honest with you, I'm actually, now that makes sense, because I'm actually noticing that already, where people are like, it's like the freaking biggest elephant is in the room and they're ignoring it. And I'm like, did you want to get that? And I'm just thinking, I feel like I'm going mad. People can see that, right? And then it's like no one's discussing it. And I'm like, maybe it's just me, but I'm like, wow, that's a big thing. Really, like I would be the first one to be, if that was me, I'd be like, well, I think we need to sort this out. But they're drawing. It's about drawing a conclusion on something that hasn't yet been defined. This is about drawing a conclusion. There's so much illusionary energy. This is being tied up. This is being tied up. And it makes sense because... Where's my notebook? Where did I put that notebook? This is not the notebook. It's here. It is... So November time is going to... So part of the reason I'm trying to ease into this, but it's just kind of like there's an elephant in the room. So part of the reason why November is so intense is, so basically there's a placement called Prometheus, okay, and Prometheus has been in retrograde since the 5th of August. Prometheus is the fire. It's the Prometheus was the person who gave fire to man. He stole it from Zeus and gave it to man, and tricked Zeus into giving it to him, and then he gave it to man. So there's a kind of illusionary or elusive element to it that suddenly when it pops up again, lightning, right? That's on the 7th of November. Now, I believe the Mars in retrograde is probably designed to go into retrograde now, because as we're kind of slowly tying up loose ends, and when we're getting into November, if that energy was firing up and Aries and freaking Mars and Aries going direct, when Prometheus goes direct on the 7th of November, I feel like, because I believe that there's just revelations coming up. Like November's readings are going to be insane. I'm not going to lie. Like it's going to be lightning. I believe the lightning was referencing a lot of that as well. So yeah, Prometheus also gave man the gift, all right? The power of forethought as well is what he gave. And he created man from water and earth. He was defined as a hero, but he stole the spark from Zeus's lightning bolt. And he's known as the light bearer. So the alchemical energy of this blue and the orange flame merging into one, November is going to be very interesting, because you've got to remember, for all of the truth and the light being brought, if you're talking about a light and a light from a lightning bolt being brought into the reality we're in, which is essentially it's going direct from like this, it'll be the 8th of November. I already feel like there's then you've got on the 16th of November, you've got the galactic center is going to be going into direct, which is, do you remember when I was telling you about how the South Node had transitioned past the galactic center? South Node is karma. Galactic center is the manifestation of all things in the universe. So the light is being brought forward 8th of November, and then about a week later, the galactic center then moves, which is a manifestation of everything being brought into the light. So of course Mars is going into retrograde, because I think it would be freaking chaos. I think if it wasn't, I mean, the left ear hurting could mean 15,000 things, Scylla. I'd have to give you a reading for that. It could mean 15 million things. I'd have to tune into you to find out. So the light is being brought forward, and the light is truth. The light is the sun. All right. My guides, the commentary, they're like, prepare. It's like, okay, thanks. That's all after Neptune goes direct as well, which is where that illusionary energy is transitioning to the latter stages of Pisces, which was in retrograde, which was creating a lot of confusion and like fog. So suddenly you're going from confused energy to like, bang, it's there. Everything that we thought wasn't happening is happening. Everything that we couldn't quite tangibly understand is now in front of us. And this is like the lead up between now and November, in my opinion. So like I said, this latter part of September leading into October's reading is going to be really important, because it's going to be setting the tone. It's going to be, this is my interpretation, it's going to be like, because this is what I feel like spirit take the piss sometimes, right? And they're like, we know what's coming up. Let's test them a little bit and see if they're going to notice it. I always spot that, and I'm like, really? You're like, do we really go into that kind of level of, you know what I mean? But I feel like they're going to do that, because when the light really kind of blasts, it's going to be, obvious. Hello, Phoenix. I hope you're doing well. So, as I say, these are all the practical matters, like the Virgo Earth energy of the details, which at the moment are very hard to distinguish because there's a lot of confusion. But don't forget, we're heading into Libra season, which is about balancing. So let's see what else they're going to tell us here. Six of Pentacles, balance. So the pre-thought and the afterthought. That's what they're saying. The pre-thought and the afterthought, are they one and the same thing? And also what they're saying is that there's a projection that everyone's placing, or an expectation that everyone's placing. And this is what they're saying to me. When you get to November, you're going to turn around and be like, that wasn't what I was expecting. That's just the way they're saying it to me. That wasn't what I was expecting. It's like the pre-thought and the afterthought are two different things. The Four of Swords, pause. This is like this is a bit of the kind of calm here. So if you feel like, do you remember the sleeping situation where I spent like 3 weeks sleeping and everyone else started slowly sleeping as well? This is basically what we're gearing into. It's again, it's like everyone's being slowly prepped. I've got to laugh at the way they do that though. That's kind of funny. Yeah, look. There's going to be a lot of people, can you see Six of Swords with the Princess of Pentacles, that we're going to be expecting things to materialize, and it's going to be a blessing that it hasn't. And for example, people's futures that are going to be, they're expecting one future exactly the way they think it is. There's going to be some elements of that are shifting. It's like the players may be the same, but the scenery is not the same. There's certain elements that have shifted. It's like, this is about, because like I said, you're being funneled into this kind of other energy, which is, I'll be honest with you, if I had to call it, it's probably, because usually, and you'll probably be able to, those of you that are intuitive, you'll probably be able to understand what I'm talking about with this. You know, when you can feel a timeline that is about to there's a timeline jump, and you can almost see it. There's like 4 or 5 possibles where this could be evolving into. This doesn't feel the same. This feels like there is a brand new, non-accessible yet timeline that hasn't quite materialized, because it's not going to, because it's not meant to, if that makes any sense. It's undecided almost, the exact dynamics, which I'll be honest with you, usually I can see the possibles, but I think because it's in November and there's so much is going to happen, because look, bottom of the deck is Magician. There's a lot of manifestation going on here. I'm trying to make out what they're saying. Something about a week in advance, we're going to know. They're just saying a week in advance we'll know, but I feel like it's November. And it's got something to do with this Prometheus, because there's no freaking coincidence with the lightning bolt, the fucking excuse my language, the orange and the blue flame, the lightning bolt, this referencing, there's no coincidence. There's no coincidence, and it's about, they just keep saying revelations, but this, again, it's a funneling in. So from my interpretation, this Mars in retrograde is buying into that, is building into that energy to slowly turn the cog to get us and our, you know, different people in the scenario that we're going to be going into are in the right place at the right time. And it's like the stage is slowly being set here. I mean, I'm going to be really honest with you. If it kind of is a lockdown, I don't do it. I don't fucking have a life anyway outside of this, my work. So it's not like the lockdown is the same as what I usually do anyway. It doesn't, I'm going to sound really bad now, but honestly, it doesn't. The only thing it affects is that everyone is in the house while I'm working, and it makes it harder for me to work. But it can't be any worse than the last time when I could hear every noise that everyone was making. I could even hear my brother going to the toilet. Do you know what I mean? Like, and if that's the case, then, and that happens, then there's obviously a reason. Spirit aren't going to let us in a situation that is not for our good. That just doesn't make any sense. And if it means that people are becoming, I'll be honest with you, I said this before, if it's going to wake people up, I'll do it. Let wake them up. Like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, if it means people are going to wake up, then, and we're all on the same page, then I'll take one for the team. You know, I will honestly take one for the team, and I feel like that's part of what this lockdown was about. Because being insular, being in your hermit mode, is very good for your own understanding and learning of the self. Do not consent. I'm in freaking lockdown usually anyway. I mean, to be honest with you, it's no different for me. It's just that there's people in the house then. You know? I mean, as long as if it happens, it happens. I'm not going to sit and I don't have, you know, it's up to these guys upstairs if it happens, in my opinion. I just think it's so basically, without going into too much detail, I've spoken to a few lawyers that are independently suing the government. And I'm going to stop talking about it now, because every time I talk about this kind of stuff, my channel gets shadow banned, which means new people can't find my channel because they block the algorithm gets blocked for new people to join. People won't see my stream or my channel, so I have to be very careful what I'm talking about for that reason, because obviously there's no point me cucking myself, you know. Let me wait for more people to come, and then I can start talking about everything, because then more people are going to hear it, you know. But it's that situation is shifting, and if it means that we play, in my opinion, it means we play into that to get these people sued, then like I'll do it, you know, because we all know that there's a huge karma coming for that situation. If you haven't already figured that out, like, I'll be honest with you, I've spoken to a lot of clients who are lawyers that are looking into that. So this is for the UK, by the way, so I'm talking about, like, for that specific example. Okay, so we've got Four of Pentacles. I think this is what they're getting at here. There's a possible, but you guys are you're in California, Tianina, so you guys are in your fifth. We're talking, for those people talking about second lockdown, we're talking about the UK, because I know you guys in LA, I do have friends over there, have been in and out of lockdown and have been continuously in and out of lockdown, whereas the UK isn't. There's some elements, some places that have. Yeah, but Phoenix, that's not quite the point though, is it? Because if I'm then being shadow banned on a channel, if you look at my subscriber count has stayed the same like literally for like 4 months. That has never happened. It's because I'm putting all this certain key, they look at wording. So me telling you and then you telling other people is kind of not quite the same, is it? In my opinion. So I have to be a bit clever about that, because we've got to remember, if the truth is going to get out, then it's still only a certain amount of people that then can go via word of mouth. It doesn't, you know. So I've got to be a bit clever about this. It is what it is. But yeah, they do. They will, especially certain keywords. Like, for example, if you've noticed the Leo King, he mentions C19, because that word gets picked up and you will get shadow back. There'll be your algorithm on YouTube will be blocked. So you got to be aware of that, you know. So it's all well and good people sitting here talking about all this really juicy information, but then when it doesn't go out because you're getting blocked by upstairs, you know, these people, then it is what it is. You've got to be a bit sneaky with it. So I need to shut that window. That whatever that is doing my head in. Right, let's have a look. let's wrap this up. This is about independence. This is, again, can you see it's like a bullseye? This is everything slotting into the place it needs to be. So if people are like worried about, oh my goodness, this is going to happen again, or we're going to go into lockdown, or we're going to go to this, don't forget, I'll be really honest with you, this is how I feel about it. Let them do it. And I'll tell you why. Because when they get sued, we can go, yeah, we were locked, you know, we were doing X, Y, and Z. Because this is essentially what's coming up. That's essentially what's coming up. So yeah, let them do it. Because if we then fight it, I mean, look, you do what you need to do. Do whatever you feel is best. But if anything, the inevitable, in my opinion, is that, certainly for the UK, that is that our people, I've got to be careful how I word this because the words are going to get picked up if I use certain keywords, are about to be rejiggled around the game board, okay? And so at some point in time, those people are going to be pulled up on it. So yeah, good. Please do use me for that exact example, because then when that goes to court, we can all sit and go, yeah, it did happen. You know what I mean? Because I'll be honest with you, at the moment, you can kind of can you justify it? You got to be, you know what I mean? It's like there's a grey area here. So I would prefer to take the hit for a couple of months personally. I mean, look, this is the thing, it doesn't affect me because I pretty much stay in this house anyway. So it really, and I'll be honest with you, I've never gone out and wore a mask, because why should I? Why should I? So I don't go out. So I'm not going to buy into that. Hello, gratefully. Hope you're doing well. Right, let's pull a final card here. Final messages. But yeah, I try and let that all play out, because we all know it was illegal. It's obvious. This whole thing is illegal, but there are definitely legal proceedings taking place, and that I can tell you because I've spoken to clients who I've even offered my spare time free to say, yeah, I'll give you a heads up, this, that, and the other. Mountain lights, light beings, portals, subtle energies, oracle, sacred living, spirit speaking, intervention. Can you see? Look, what did I say about that funnel? It's like something's being thrown in a bowl to be transmuted. Can you see at the top of the mountain as well? There's that energy. It's like this funneled energy. It has to be concentrated before it can be transmuted. I want them to go to an extreme. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I do. I want them to go to an extreme, because then you cannot deny it then. You can't sit in court and go, yeah, no, I didn't do that. Because it's going to be absolutely, because I've done jury service before, and I want it to be perfect. It's perfect example for you. That's the perfect example. You can't talk about certain things because you get pulled up. I don't know if you can hear me now. Let me talk about something different. Well, I mean, it's either them or upstairs. It's either them or the people that monitor this platform. Can you hear me again? So usually when it drops, usually when the bit rate drops, it will tell me on here. So, Spirit, were you trying to block me from saying that? They're like, yes. Oh, that's funny. It is what it is. It is what it is. Apparently, freedom of speech is questionable at the moment. They're saying they don't want me to influence the outcome, which is fair enough. So you can hear me now, yeah? Right, let's pull one more card here, and then we'll be on with our days. Let's go with. I feel like I want to pull something from this deck here. Yeah, my incense is out. I mean, I'm about to get off, so the incense probably is not worth lining up a new one. This is the thing, I'd have to be doing a reading like this with this sage. And just doing that, I'd have to have a helper to just do this the whole time. That's how dense the energy is. It is what it is. Big picture thinking. Look at that portal. Look, exactly what I was saying. Pleiades energy, visionary, inspired ideas. Sirius energy, bringing harmony and balance. And we've got messenger. Okay, one sec. I've got to dig into this now because now they're giving me something juicy, and I'm like, right, hang on a minute. Because I just keep hearing surprises await, surprise awaiting a surprise, awaiting surprise. So I'm like, okay, well, what is this surprise that we're awaiting? Let's figure out a little bit before we go. What is the surprise? Messenger, big picture thinking. What is the surprise, Spirit? What is the surprise, please? What is... Okay. Wow. Okay, this is interesting. So, you know, all I could see was an ear. That's hilarious. Was that oh, it's an ear. I thought it was a light bulb for a minute. No, it's an ear. So this is what we've got. The surprise. We've got the king, the dog, and the stag. This is the divine masculine or your divine counterpart starting to take action and take leadership, decisive action. So do you remember when I was talking about how things are being paused for people to get everything aware and there's sort of the bigger picture being brought into fruition? There's a dog again licking my feet again. This is what this is all lining up to do, to bring through that leadership energy, to give them that kind of, again, it's an alignment to bring that energy to fruition. It's actually to then shake up the comfort zone a little bit as well. The stakes are higher, and hang on, let's use the Island Time Wellness cards, which is, so it says, I like you, someone likes you, romance is blooming, fun flirting, wants to date. So what are these cards, Spirit, please? What is this? What are these cards? And then we'll close out the reading. We've got mask and the runner. So someone that wasn't being on their authentic self and they weren't acknowledging things. They're slowly, they're not running. Because don't forget, Mars is action. And if it goes into retrograde, there's a pause. So the mask is coming off and the runner may not be the runner so much longer anymore. The runner may be stationary and or pausing to reflect, to take decisive action. Okay, guys, this was your reading. Pay attention if you pick a card later on tonight. It will probably be something to do with this, or there's a few other ideas I've got. We'll see. I haven't recorded it yet. Yeah, don't forget we're going live Wednesday as usual. That one's all going forward, so we'll be able to see a little bit better with the energy then, what's actually going on. You're welcome, guys. Have a good one. Take care. Until next time. Bye.